It's here, it's finally here. It's the new Sonos Sub Mini. Welcome everybody to AppleInsider. It's Andrew here, and I got my hands on the new Sonos Sub Mini. So let's go ahead and set it up, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Sonos's new, more affordable companion subwoofer. So pretty typical Sonos packaging here. All sustainable stuff, very little, if any, plastic being used here. We've got our power accessories right here at the top, and another little piece of cardboard. And yeah, right there, that's our new Sonos Sub Mini. It's adorable. I have the white one. It does come in a black version as well, though I think the white looks really cool because not only is the actual body of this sub speaker white, but the middle part, that opening, is black, which gives it kind of a cool little two-tone look, which I am very fond of. So there it is. It's kind of our first look at the new Sub Mini. This has been rumored for so long, and I can't believe that it's actually here. I've been really wanting to add a subwoofer, but I did not want to spend the almost $800 some on the standard Sonos Sub. So the Sub Mini is perfect for me. This is not going to be great for really large rooms, and they really recommend it with the Ray and the Beam, but I'm going to test it with the Ray, the Beam, and the Arc and see how much of a difference it actually makes. Let's do a quick rundown of the hardware before I install this thing. So it's roughly about a little over a foot tall, so it's still not super tiny, but any subwoofer that puts out any amount of bass isn't going to be exceptionally tiny. I said it comes in black and white. I like the two-tone of the white here. And inside of this little hollow channel, there are two force-canceling drivers, or woofers in this case. And they are both 6-inch woofers, and they face each other so that way it reduces the distortion and the rumbling of your floor, which should make any neighbors you have happy, or anyone who happens to be in an adjacent room. On the bottom of the device, there are the two ports that it has, the power cable and an Ethernet port. Other than that, this thing is clean, simple, and minimalistic. Let's go ahead, set it up, and put it to the test. Setting up the Sonos Sub Mini is super easy. I basically plugged it in proximity of the sound bar that I wanted to pair it with. The app automatically found it. I go through a couple onboarding steps, including bringing my phone nearby to transfer my Wi-Fi credentials via NFC, and boom, I was good to go. It communicates with the soundbar wirelessly, and I didn't need to do anything to set it up. It was really easy to configure and start using the Sub Mini right away. As soon as the Sub Mini was in use, all those low frequencies were offloaded to the sub, and your soundbar could focus on the mids and the highs. And as soon as the Sub Mini is disconnected, your soundbar or speaker will go back to taking over the full range of frequencies. In my testing, I focused on kind of three areas. Basically, the three that you would care about most, I think, with a subwoofer, and that's going to be movies, music, and games. Game-wise, I've been playing a lot of Subnautica recently, and it's underwater, and there's a lot of low murmurs that are kind of going on that makes it feel very immersive. And using a sub definitely heightened that experience. You're going in, these gigantic creatures come out of nowhere to attack you, and having that thunder and just kind of feeling it in you, even if it isn't as much as the full-size Sonos Sub, it feels more substantial by quite a bit than the Sonos Arc, the Ray, and for sure the Beam too. Movies, similar expectations here. I was watching the most recent Thor movie, testing out this new Samsung TV at the same time, and it's really cool. Honestly, I feel like I was just missing out a lot by not having a subwoofer before this. Even in my studio where I have the Beam, or the living room where I have the Arc, and it's clear that I'm going to be needing a second one of these for both of my primary TVs, because once you have that subwoofer, it just sounds so much richer and deeper. And as there's like these massive fight scenes through space in Thor, it just pulls you in more than it does just with the soundbar by itself. There aren't really any settings to control the Sonos Sub Mini. It basically just kind of works. You can adjust the bass response a little bit, increasing or decreasing it to your liking, and you can still turn on the night mode, which will decrease the lower frequencies to prevent rumbling and stuff that can travel throughout the house and wake people up at night. So all of those are in play, but for me, I just kept things usually on default, though I do use night mode if I am watching or working late and have something going on, because I don't want to wake anyone else up in the house. Even though Sonos advocates for using the Sub Mini primarily with Beam and Ray, I had no problems using it with the Arc. And in fact, in our house, it definitely improved the audio quality coming from the Arc. It's able to offload those low frequencies to the Sub Mini, letting it focus more primarily on the mids and the highs. Things like voices sounded more clear, and just the overall audio effects and the 3D audio sounded better coming out of the Arc with Sub Mini attached. That said, you're not necessarily going to have the same experience. If you have a large room or a tall room, anything like that, the Sub Mini may be too small to effectively disperse that bass through your home. Comparing this to the actual Sonos Sub, you definitely just notice more resonance and a louder, fuller sound coming from the bigger subwoofer. But this is still pinpoint accurate, tight, and vastly improves the audio quality. Plus, you don't have to just pair it with a soundbar. Pair with any Sonos speaker. I have right here behind me, this is one of the Symphonisk speakers from Sonos and IKEA that can go up on the wall. I paired it with that and used that as still a speaker and then the Sub as a companion. And it worked really well. I had no issues, and it does improve the audio quality. So no matter what Sonos speakers you have, you can benefit by adding a Sub. And with a price point as low as the Sonos Sub Mini is, it's still a lot cheaper than the standard Sonos Sub. And I think for me, that's the biggest selling point. It could be bigger and better with the Sonos Sub, but the Sub Mini is more affordable and still has added benefit for at least medium to smaller sized rooms. So what do you guys think of the Sonos Sub? Would you pick up the Sonos Sub Mini? Let me know over on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. And if you'd like to grab the Sonos Sub Mini for yourself, it's being released on October 6th. And there is a link down below in the description.